I'll tell you this, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to continue their education, and I have to be here to 2011 until my loans run out, and after that, if my class keep getting cut, I have to drop out of school.
The lower income student or student coming from a lower income family would be eligible for some of the grant programs. For example, the Pell Grant that has increased this year, very likely they would have been eligible for either a Cal grant or a state university grant. Probably the issue we see more related to that is timeliness of applications and completion of the application. Because even though dollars may be available if they apply, we do run out at a certain point and they may not be able to receive it.
They're reducing enrollment. So like for instance, spring semester, all new admissions are canceled for spring semester. And my understanding is that they're looking to reduce enrollment across the CSU over the next 2 years by 40,000 students. That's 40,000 high school students who thought they were going to be able to have access to higher education in the CSU who aren't going to have access.
Okay, I go and advocate to City College and I tell students over there, take as many classes as you can over there because it's cheaper than when you go to Fresno State. Take as many classes. But why do we have to do this? Why do we have to go through these measures?
The idea is that some of these students will be pushed into community colleges, but I also know my husband works at Fresno City College, and I know that those community colleges are already pretty well impacted.
I've talked to a fair number of students whose families, for example, are dependent on nice middle class incomes, if you like.
Every year they push me to the limit to come here, to go to school, to get a better education. And what's happening now? I won't even know if I'll graduate, if I'll get to be what I want to be and succeed, and show my family that I can. To show everybody, what are we coming to when they're putting the classes that we need? We're not going to graduate, they're just going to put a stop there? Whose school is this?
You become doctors, you become nurses, you become lawyers, you become teachers, you become business people, you become engineers, you become ag business people. When you do that, the economy gets better, not worse. So we need an investment in the CSU that says, you are our future, and we want to fund you so that our future is better, not worse.
I think that what we really need from our legislature is a recommitment to revitalize public higher education in the state of California, to see it as an investment in the future of our state. It's not a burden for our state, it's an investment in the future of our state.
Taxing those who take away natural resources from the state, like gas, oil, the extraction tax, that would be a start. If you're taking one natural resource away from the state, perhaps you'd like to put some money back into producing another natural resource, our best natural resource, which is our future leaders, our future teachers, engineers, etc.
We can support Assembly Bill 656 to impose the excise tax on the oil industry. We can push to have weed legalized and tax the hell out of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to smoke it. I know you're all hardworking students.
A state that is not willing to invest in its human capital, in its people, is a state that is going to continue in its decline. We're literally moving dollars from higher education into the incarceration of people as they fall into poverty and into underground economies, in trying literally basically to survive in an America that is becoming more and more a two-class system. Without a vital, educated middle class, a democracy cannot exist. The upward redistribution of wealth that's been happening over the last decades has reached a critical mass where, unless there is more equity in access and resource allocation, then we are going to literally see a growing power of corporate and economic and aristocratic power.
Unfortunately, our government is not listening to the people. They don't represent American people, they don't represent American interests, and they don't represent people of color, people white, black, whatever color your skin is. They don't really give a damn about us because we're poor, and they only care about the elite class.
Get a fucking team. Since you're using all this money to spend on this shit and that shit, I mean, it's sad. And you know what? Stop funding these prisons. These fools want to kill people and be in there for life. Send them overseas. Don't lock them up here for life And we got to pay all this money for them to stay here. My own hard-earned tax money, his own hard-earned tax money. You guys need to get off your asses, come to this university and see what the shit we got to deal with. And you may think it's all nice and dandy, but you actually come here and stay for an entire year. And you see the shit you got to deal with. Don't bring your money with you. You bring about the same amount the students get every year, all right? And you see how long you're going to last here.
I beg all of you to do the same. Go home and reevaluate yourself. Look yourselves in the mirror and see how you feel about the situation. Those of you who are walking by and don't care or don't have time, go home and think about how this affects the future.
They're gonna let us be sponges, just throw all kinds of information in our head. We are not gonna sit around and be sponges for them to put things in our head. We are going to be like, you see, Buckley, if we have to burn down Fresno State and build a new one, then that's what we will do.
And all I can say is, if this government doesn't cut this crap, I swear to God, when I finish making this documentary for one of my classes, I'm sending it to their asses up there. I'm going to say, get us our damn money back.
So the question in everyone's mind is, are we going to let the government privatize higher education? Are wealthy students the only people who will be enrolled in higher education? If this trend continues, lower and middle class students will be forced out of the CSU system. The only way to stop this trend is to stand up against the fee increases, fight for equality in all student classes, stop the government from furloughing our teachers, forcing them to take a pay cut, fight for higher education.